In the Glasshouse, a very special occasion.
Hey Tony, is it true you and John Howard are going to be the first same-sex couple to get married in Baghdad?
I can't believe the answer to that is yes.
G'day folks, welcome to the Glasshouse, the program that asks the question, if we sell uranium to China, do you think they'll protect us when Indonesia invades to extract vicious cartoon-based revenge? More news than candles on the yellow cake this week, but the dog fur is still flying between Canberra and Jakarta over that Indonesian magazine's caricature of John Howard and Alexander Downer as fornicating dingoes. Even worse, Howard has started referring to himself as top dog and calling Downer his bitch. In Indonesia, they now refer to that position as doing it Johnny style. After a little bit of bowing and a whole lot of scraping, the Chinese Premier left Australia with some of our uranium. I suppose he can always claim the baggage handlers put it in his boogie board bag. But it's not gone forever. We'll get it back when they're finished with it. A life-sized nude sculpture of Britney Spears giving birth is causing a bit of a stink. Not literally. She's on her hands and knees on a bearskin rug, and the rear view reveals the newborn's head crowning. It's called Push That Baby One More Time. And a former Hawthorn star, Dermot Brereton, says recreational drug use in the AFL is at its highest right now, much like the players. Come down, Kazali. But it's not their fault. They love the sport so much when the season's over, they just miss the grass and the white lines. And it's cool buying drugs with an AFL player. When you score, a little man in white comes out and goes, Queensland!
Money news, Wilpack. According to a new poll, Australians are more optimistic about their personal finances than most people in the world, but we're still outranked by people in Afghanistan and Iraq. 70% of Afghanis and 65% of Iraqis think their economic situation will improve. Well, when your country's been bombed back to the Stone Age, bar the arrival of man-eating dinosaurs, things can pretty much only get better. They're a stoic people, the Iraqis. 65% think their situation will get better, and that includes the suicide bombers. Yes, Iraqis and Afghanis believe things will get better in a few years, you know, when they have electricity and that. Iraqis are optimistic and they haven't even got a government. Think how overjoyed they'd be if they had John Howard. Think how overjoyed we'd be if they had John Howard.
Bloody very angry this week, I can tell you. Yeah, report in the paper the other day, 200 of our Aussie sports stars might be criminally charged for evading tax. Come on, tax officers, that's what these people do. They evade the opposition. That's their job. You can't tax them. Sport's a religion in this country. I mean, they're so mean, the tax officers. If Jesus was around, they'd probably charge him tax. They'd say, we want 48% of your fish, Jesus. And then he'd give it to them, they go, we know there's more. Seriously, what the hell's going on? So some rugby league players haven't put in their bloody tax returns. These guys can't even recognise their own name, you know? They can't count to 20 without taking their footy boots off. Just Give them a break. I mean, anyway, what do they do with the tax anyway? They only build sporting stadiums and put on massive sporting events. These people are just cutting out the middleman, keeping it for themselves, and I say, go, footy players. Even the netballers, they're targeting netball players. What's next? They're going to target the homeless guys who bloody collect aluminium cans? Netballers don't make any money, just relax, let them have their bibs. It's a disgrace. Anyway, now right there, I have made some jokes against the tax office, and they might think, oh, we'll audit you. Well, would have I made those jokes if I wasn't squeaky clean? Yeah. Don't waste your time on Hizzy.
All right, let's get to it. Joining me, Coon and Davis Rosenstone's in the Glasshouse tonight. He's in Sydney this week at the Hub in Newtown, then making a triumphant return to the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. He is, quite simply, Jamal. And Australian netball's favourite knee trembler, the high priestess of the hardwood, Liz Ellis. All right, movers and shakers. First up, a boffin from the University of Ulster has ranked all the UK and European countries according to their average IQs. Germany's on top, Britain is 8th, and their ancient rival France is 19th. Equal first with Germany is the Netherlands, with an average IQ of 107. Turns out dope and hookers really do make you smarter. Austria is a few places back with an average of 101. It used to be 27, but Schwarzenegger left. Australia isn't on the list, but it's not as if it's something important, like the Commonwealth Games medal tally. Yeah, take that, small nations I've never heard of. Jim, your people have been vilified for centuries. Which country is really the dumbest?
It would have to be the Irish.
Oh, you're turning on your own.
Well, we made up all those jokes about ourselves. Those jokes are about people from the west coast of Ireland, so we've got no one to blame but ourselves.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So in Ireland, Irish jokes are about other people in Ireland.
Yes, and then they just got backfired. The English took them and changed them a bit.
Oh, OK, that's a bit unlike... Well, it's a bit opposite to Australia and New Zealand, because you always tell jokes about Kiwis being sheep shaggers, but when you go to New Zealand, they blame us. They think we're sheep shaggers.
Yeah. Because if you go to London, English people call Australians sheep shaggers, and then Australians go, that's not us, that's New Zealand.
Stop being racist, that's the Kiwi. Really, no one's really shagging sheep, are they?
No, they're dingoes.
But the French are pretty. When you talk to the French, they do close their eyes, so that's probably. When you're actually speaking to them, they do. They do. You can clear off halfway through the sentence. They don't even go on.
I was getting a fine once for not paying the full fare at a railway station in France, and I cleared off halfway through the sentence.
Really?
What bit was it? Was the bit where he went?
I don't know. I didn't stay.
What did you say? Did you say I'm a dumb Aussie? I don't know.
Well, I didn't know, because I thought I was going on the underground tram thingy, and I ended up on a train going to Versailles, and I just said I didn't know, and I just left. And he didn't chase us. It was myself and another netballer.
So did you just move in?
You know why I didn't chase you? You know why I didn't chase you? You know why?
Why?
Because you're massive.
I'm tall.
I know you're tall. That was a joke from before the show. So. You're at home thinking, what the hell was that funny?
So did you jump off the train, or did you just walk into another carriage and he just went, I can't be stuffed?
We jumped over the turnstile and ran into the...
Oh, you didn't jump. You just walked over because you're massive. Now, Jimmy, I don't think Irish people are dumb, but I do think they're all alcoholics. Is that fair?
Yes.
What is that? Why?
I don't know, but a lot of them are drunks.
Do you get offended?
Me and you included.
Are there any good Irish jokes, though?
Loads.
Give us one. You're too dumb to remember one, aren't you?
You're too pissed to hear it.
I Are people upset when you walk into a bar with an Englishman and a Scotsman and nothing amusing happens?
That has happened in the past, yes.
But it's funny how that, like, we just accept that you can say Irish people are stupid. There's some sort of racisms that are acceptable and some that aren't
totally,
acceptable. Like, you go to
course.
cricket and you can always hang shit on the English.
Yep.
That's just expected.
Yeah.
But you can't sort of, you've got to be careful what you say about perhaps other countries of a different colour.
What about in netball? Is it the same like that? Have you ever had, like, you know, racism on the court against you or one of your players?
One of my teammates once got called a white pussy.
Oh, really?
By someone who perhaps might not have had one of those.
What are you saying?
So you were playing netball against a black man?
I had just been in the Australian team, and
Right, yeah.
this girl came off and she was horrified that she'd been called this, but she got absolutely no sympathy from any of us. We're like, ha ha ha.
It doesn't really sound that
No, it
insulting,
doesn't.
though, is it? It's like, white pussy sounds like you'd stroke it. It was cute. I don't mean like that. I meant more in a James Bond fashion. You know?
I'll give you her phone number, Will, and you can knock yourself out.
Can I go back to the racism thing? Like, you know, because
What
Liz was saying,
yeah.
you know, like being
Yeah.
racist. So I don't think we can be racist to the English or the Irish because they're the same race as us.
Yeah. You're saying us by white people, yeah?
Anglo-Saxon.
Yes, Anglo-Saxon,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
and whereas, you know, I think it's racist when you attack. You know, like African Americans can be killed because they're African Americans. English people aren't killed because they're English. You know, unless they're backpackers. And then it's just crazy, stab, stab, stab. Woo, burn them. Woo, off we go.
See, and that's not offensive what
No,
you've just
that's
done
funny.
Our next mover and shaker is a woman from Cheltenham in England who's undergoing therapy to overcome a fear of peas. Louise Arnold gets anxious in supermarkets and runs out of restaurants if she spots peas in meals. Unfortunately, the panic attacks just escalate because she gets so frightened, she pees herself. She can't go to church because if the minister says, "Peace be with you," she jumps up and runs screaming, "Get the muffin! Get the muffin!" Louise has now been diagnosed as suffering from legume psychiatric disorder, otherwise known as being peanuts.
That's really like a stupid fear. She should be talked through. She should be just sat down and said, "There's no harm in these things. Have a little look at them and then move on."
But that's the whole point.
You've missed your calling in life, Jamoa.
What about you, Corinne? You got any irrational fears?
I've got a number, so you tell me which
Questions
one's
you're not
weirder.
expecting.
Yeah, which one's weirder, okay? I'm not good. I can't sleep with drawers or cupboards open, but I have to have the bedroom door open. It can't be closed.
Wow.
So that's one fear. And the other one is I can't
in a
have it
hotel
completely. Well, I know. See, that's a quandary. I have to leave the bathroom door open.
Maybe we should discuss that one just right there, yeah.
Okay.
I think because you've got to have the door open so you've got somewhere to run in case something comes out of the cupboard.
Cupboards, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so you need to... That's it.
And has that happened to you often, things coming out of the cupboard in the middle
Or
of the
the drawers.
night?
Things never come out of the cupboards or the drawers. Nothing has ever jumped out of my sock drawer.
So...
Did you go and watch the Chronicles of Narnia and just freak out? Oh my God! There's a whole universe in the cupboard!
I know, I watched it and I've been wearing the same outfit ever since. I'm just not game to go into the wardrobe.
And you know what it means that nothing's ever come out of your sock drawer? You're due. It's gonna happen. Maybe not.
Don't tell me that.
I thought you were being racist there.
So did I. So did I.
That's the whole point of fears like that. They are irrational. Like
Yeah.
sitting someone down and saying, that's stupid to be scared of peas.
Is
Exactly.
it collectively, one on their own? Would she be scared of that, or is it just a gang of them?
Do they generally hunting gangs?
Little tough peas with their baseball caps on backwards.
Do you know the first thing that was duplicated like through GNA was DNA? DNA was a P.
Really? That was the first thing that was... And they found out they got two Ps,
They,
yeah?
they made an identical P.
That's
Wow.
what you need, an
P.
identical P, don't you?
That would be your word against theirs. Just a ringer for that one.
Who's to say?
Well, who's to say, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm scared of spiders.
Are you?
That's not
Why?
irrational, though,
I
is
know,
it?
I think that's fairly rational. And when we used to get huntsmen in our house, you know, those big hairy...
Huntsmen.
Yeah, I
like
didn't like them,
talking
but my
about them.
sister was never scared of them, which wasn't fair.
Girls do that. They get the knee comes up. My wife has it, and the knee comes up. You get that? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
They do
No, I
spider
sort of-
things back at the spider.
If there's a spider... know,
defence
but
mechanism.
You lift it up, but there's no way you're going to stamp on it because you don't want to
Oh,
get
no,
spider
run
guts
up
everywhere.
you.
But my sister... It's horrible, isn't it?
What about superstitions, Liz? Is there any players that you've ever toured with who have like weird superstitions before they play?
Yeah, I had one teammate once before I killed her because she drove me insane. She used to only want to... I didn't, it's okay. She had this thing where she had to walk out of a building the same door she came in. Going to the Easter show was hell with her because you walk through those pavilions. She had to walk up and walk back and then she'd walk around to the next one.
Okay, actually that's technically not superstition, that's obsessive compulsive disorder.
There was
what about
fine
an
line,
airport? Because you'd walk through and you can't get back.
Don't even bring that
Our favourite mover and shaker this week is an official from the New Zealand and Commonwealth Games team who says the Kiwis didn't do very well in Melbourne because New Zealanders tend to be too nice. Ah, yes, the All Blacks. Flat-headed thugs or doe-eyed fluffy bunnies. Kiwis also claim Aussie athletes are extraordinarily direct and ruthless, even resorting to such despicable measures as training more and trying harder. But it's true, New Zealanders are nice. They have to be, or they get cut off the dole and sent back home. Liz, you've got a big heart. How much do you love the Kiwis?
I love them a lot. I don't know that I... Oh, actually, I do agree with that because I've not played against too many New Zealanders in the New Zealand netball team.
Oh, wow.
I know, it is full of South Africans and Fijians, so...
Ooh,
Really?
Not that I'm bitter about that.
So they buy their team in?
Yeah.
And Australia has
Recruited.
never done that, have they? Not in netball.
Not in netball, can't afford
No,
it.
we have great Australian heroes like Tatiana Grigorieva and Costa Zoo.
That's right. Absolutely. No, I didn't play at the Commonwealth Games, obviously, so thank you for bringing them up.
But have you played on that giant girl?
Yes, Irene van Dijk. I would have played against.
She is massive. How tall is she?
I'll squash you like a fly,
I know, how
Dave.
tall? She's like
She's
six-
6'4".
Is she?
Yeah,
Wow.
which is why I don't sledge her.
No.
She's tall and she's bigger and stronger
Yeah.
than I am. She's actually quite a nice girl.
Sure. When she's a...
So I watched the final, though, the Silver Ferns against the... What do you call the Opals?
No,
That's
that's
the
the basketball.
basketballers.
The Australian netball team.
That's right. You don't have a name.
No, we don't have a name.
Really?
Well,
Ants.
that's-
They should be
Yeah,
ants.
it's
Australian
Australian
netball
netball
team.
team. Yeah.
I went to camp.
Massive attack.
Oh, now how can you call massive attack?
That's good.
You can come out to a massive attack song and go, give me a reason to love me. Oh, is that how it goes?
That's not one of their songs.
Or some other song.
Or the Wiggles song.
I went to Canberra University, and the Canberra University netball team had a very unfortunate acronym.
Yes.
Spell it at home, kids.
yeah.
What I was going to say about... I watched that game.
Oh, somebody over there just got that.
Is it? I didn't realise my mum was in the audience tonight.
Can you walk us through the Tamsin Lewis, Jana Pittman spat that seems to have flared up again? Like, is Jana Pittman the most unpopular gold medalist Australia has ever had? Like, when they took her braces off the other day, should they have just sewed up her gob?
Yes.
They're good friends.
I do know Tamsin and Jana, and I think they've both been misunderstood.
What team are you on? Come on, give us a side. It's an event. It's
like Team
contest.
Aniston and Team Pitt. You've got to, you've got to be on one side or the other.
If I go on Team Jolie, does it...
An Aniston.
You've got to be one of those. You've got to be like, are you Lewis or are you Pittman?
Oh, I quite like them both. They're both very different girls.
Explain to me how she has been misunderstood when she wrote to the English team, went, you can have my gold medal if you want.
Well, she was
That wasn't word for word, by the way. That was the gist of
Do you
it.
think me comes up in a spell check?
She already had a gold medal, though. It's all well to give away a gold medal when you've already got one. The other girls didn't have one.
No,
you know?
this is true. Mind you, I spoke to her on Sunday night about that, and she was pretty embarrassed that the appeal had been lodged and that sort of stuff. I don't know. I think
Did she have the bling on when she was talking?
Yeah. She was, yeah.
Did she?
I might have to be in change with these girls later. I'm not going to say anything bad
Yeah,
about
well, they're not
them.
going to start playing netball. Surely not, are they?
I hope not.
No, because they're rubbish. No, they're not. They're good. I like both of them. Especially Tamsin. She's blonde. No, I do like Tamsin. I've shared plane with her. We didn't share it. We were on the plane together. Whatever. Not together. We were separate. We're in this different... No, whatever, you know. She's a nice girl. Yeah, whatever. Good luck to both of them.
Later in the Glasshouse, Sparky Phil Ruddock declares the real reason asylum seekers stopped coming during his last year as Immigration Minister.
Our Air Force was able to get some effective target practice.
The PM is asked when Peter Costello will stop leaving burning bags of poo outside his office, then shouting, "Who's the fool now?"
Sometime in April, I don't know when, but soon.
And Tony Blair recalls waking up covered in chocolate body paint after accepting a drink from Amanda Vanstone.
And so I'm kind of thinking, so where the bloody hell am I?
After the joy of the Howard Downer Rutting Dingoes cartoon, the Australian responded with this cartoon by Bill Leake. That's a doggy guy from West Papua being serviced by a doggy Indonesian president. I guess that's why they call him Bam Bang. What did you think of the cartoon?
Well, I'm happy. I mean, whatever. I mean, making love is a wonderful thing. So, I mean, you know, it's inspiring togetherness. And, you know, I mean, hopefully the people of Indonesia will look at that cartoon and go, yeah, let's make love. Not war.
I think, like we were talking about before about what's racist, I think that's a little bit racist. I think the bone through the nose of the New Guinea guy was crossing the line.
I think it's good. It's brought attention to the whole Papua New Guinea thing. So, is it Papua New Guinea? Is it?
It's West Papua.
West Papua.
Which is
not enough attention.
This has brought it to my attention, so this is good.
So you would like to see all world issues expressed through?
Yes. Violence is so boring. I think it's a good angle to come at it this way. I think the IRA should have had that as an angle instead of bombing places. Just like in London, have a couple of old ladies driving around in a Morris Minor and bring London to a standstill. That'd be a good angle.
What are these ladies doing in the Morris Minor?
Wearing balaclavas. They're in the IRA.
Little old ladies who knitted their own balaclavas.
I often thought, how would you buy a balaclava? Because they would know that you would be up to no good if you were... It'd be like... You know, like if you buy condoms in a chemist, I wonder if you buy other things like in the army surplus store as well. Like I'll have some boots there and a shirt and just chuck in a couple of balaclavas.
I would have thought someone buying a rifle would have raised more suspicions.
Because in Ireland they cut sleeves off shirts and tie a knot on the top of them and cut holes in them because they know that they're up to no good when they're buying balaclavas.
They cut sleeves off shirts.
The jumpers. They're looking for people with just one arm cut off their jumper. They're in there, right?
Stockings. Couldn't they just buy stockings and use stockings? Like
That's
they do the job?
That's more for bank robbers.
Bank robbers? Is there a difference? Hang on, you can't rob a bank in a balaclava.
I always find that funny with when they've got stockings over their face. They always have that look on their face like, what's that smell? I'm thinking it's probably the stockings.
It would be hard, actually, if a bank robber came in with a stocking, not to laugh at him. So, I know you got a gun, but you look like a dickhead.
I went to school with a guy who had a rather prominent facial feature, and he worked at a particular fast food restaurant, and he, after he left, 2 weeks after he left, he held up that fast food restaurant with a stocking over his head with a very prominent facial feature.
Oh, what a twit!
He's in jail.
Where I come from in Northern Ireland, the IRA used to hold up the local GAA, the sports club, and then the sports club would claim the money from the insurance for being robbed. And one time they held up the winning with the balaclavas, and then held up as an old lady won the jackpot on the poker machines. Yeah. And one of the guys looked at the jackpot, and the old lady goes, "You touch that, Sean, I'm telling your mother."
Yes, it's time to award the coveted Glasshouse trophy, which this week is called... And the winner of the Bart Farquhar Memorial Chesterfield Trouser Ghost is the Deputy Headmistress of a school in Bristol who's suing for more than £1 million after being forced to sit in a chair that made farting noises every time she moved. Sue Storer is suing the school for objectionable firing practices. which is pretty much what she was accused of. Sue claims 2 other teachers, both men, were given new executive chairs without even having to ask. But those sleek black chairs can suddenly swivel at the wrong moment and break your neck. They're silent, but deadly. The trophy goes to the completely unsmelly Sue Storer. Personally, I don't blame the chair. I blame the 2 naughty school kids pointing a wand at her and saying, "Bottomus flatuli!" Well, that's the way it is for Wednesday, April the 5th. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Jim. And let's take a look at tomorrow's headlines. In the Canberra Times, John Howard says his same-sex marriage veto is not anti-gay, just pro-discrimination. Le Monde claims Dalai Lama astonished at Bush's grasp of Buddhism. His mind is completely empty. And in The Advocate, UK wants Jana Pittman to hand over gold medal. Athletics Australia says, take her too and you got a deal. Good night.
Hi, Andrew Denton here, and my